Monefit SmartSaver is exploding, and in a positive way. After the platform launched just 9 months ago with a 7.25% return and daily availability of your money from the Credit Star Group, they are already seeing more than $14 million in investments. However, there are also problems. I spoke with the CEO about this to clarify whether an investment is currently worthwhile or not and how it compares to Bondora. And with that, welcome to Northern Finance. My name is Alex Bleck. I have now invested in Monefit SmartSaver and receive 7.25% interest per year, which is paid out daily. Currently, that amounts to 0.64 every day. This may not be the world, but it's still nearly $18 per month, and for me, it's another nice source of passive income that I don't have to do anything for anymore. And yes, this will of course continue to be expanded. As mentioned recently, Monefit continues to work intensively on the platform due to its very strong success. And that's why I conducted another interview with the Chief Product Officer of the Credit Star Group, Kashyap Shah, nicknamed Kash. He is also responsible for Monefit as the CEO and therefore the best contact person to clarify any open questions. In doing so, we discussed some numbers and statistics that are not publicly available. And that's why there are now the highlights from our conversation with exactly that in the video. Feel free to check the video description below if you want to watch the entire conversation as a podcast here on YouTube as a video podcast. First, it was about Monefit itself and yes, how much is currently being invested here. Kash says the following.
Just to give you some numbers, we've got around 14 million in deposits in Monefit SmartSaver. It's the last time when you and I met in Riga event. I think I reported around 6 to 7 million. So I think we doubled in a very short period of time.
And in the first 9 months, investors have already come together, which is already more than at Income Marketplace, for example, which are also a competitor of Monefit with their current $10 million investments. After 2.5 years, when they were as old as Monefit itself, they had not 14 million in invested funds, but rather just under 1 million. So this is a very, very rapid growth here, more than 30% per month, says Monefit itself. And in my view, there are two main reasons for this that we want to address now. On one hand, the Credit Star Group is very experienced and is more than 14 years old itself. They have been active on Mintos and other P2P lending marketplaces for a long time and have built a certain level of recognition, so to speak, to drive this rapid growth forward. With its own platform, Bondora Go Grow is struggling, first with declining and now with stagnating interest rates, which are at 6.75%, while Monefit pays half a percentage point more at 7.25%. And I just can't say anything too specific yet, but by the end of the video, you will also really find out that this value can still develop in your favor in the coming weeks and months. Let's put it that way, but the information will come shortly. What I can definitely say now and share publicly is that I not only asked Monefit questions that were comfortable, but I also critically inquired in many areas, as there was a very important issue at Monefit at the beginning of the year. The Credit Star Group, parent company of Monefit, is facing payment issues on Mintos amounting to around $10 million in loans classified as pending payments, which means they have not been settled on time. This is the current status as of 2021. When asked about it, Kash says that they had to make a decision last year on whether to ensure timely repayment to Mintos due to the economically difficult situation in Europe, especially in the Baltics, where they are also active, or to not restrict lending in Finland, Estonia, Sweden, and the Czech Republic, which represents their main business here.
I'm pleased to say that I think we paid in excess of over €1 million to Mintos already. I think the pending payments are in the region of around 2 million now. We have rescheduled those structures a little bit, and we are looking to clear out in near future time.
When I inquired about when exactly this moment would come, when everything from the $10 million that were still open in January and today still $2 million in outstanding payments would flow back, Kash first said the following.
I think the current run rate, the way it's going, I would say 2 to 3 months, we should be out of those levels. But again, I'd like to achieve as much as possible.
He then addressed my question about country markets and mentioned that the issues with country markets, including payment problems, have also been resolved and all investors have been paid. For me, CreditStar is definitely a company that had problems in the past, but is now getting into increasingly better waters, let's put it that way, and a 100% guarantee that one will always be paid on time and without risk cannot exist with such interest rates and PP loans in general. This is not a savings account that would somehow be insured by the state. Therefore, the interest rates are also significantly higher, though you have this daily access. But I believe that a large group like CreditStar can also generate good profits here in the future. Let's take a look at the last annual report here, and we can see again that they were very profitable just like in the previous years. So here I am not too worried that they can continue to maintain the business and also grow profitably. They are not stagnating in the markets, but are continuously expanding. As we can see here, they will soon be expanding into Spain elsewhere. I have linked my entire experience report on Monefit SmartSaver below in the video description, including a juicy bonus that you won't get with the regular registration, which gives you an extra 2 percentage points in returns. So why am I saying this at the start of the video? Monefit SmartSaver shows where Bondora Go Grow is really lacking. When we look at the monthly loan disbursements in the overview of peer-to-peer banking, we see that Bondora has issued about 10% fewer loans in July compared to last year, with $13.7 million. Last year, at the same time, it was still 15.2 million and a growth of 30% compared to the previous year. Bondora may be the more well-known option for many investors, but I personally do not necessarily believe that they are the better option currently, given their lack of growth for years. There is no other way to put it. Before the COVID crisis in July 2019, the lending volume at Bondora was 14.7 million, which is more than the value we have today. 4 years without growth is quite drastic, especially when considering the current expansion. In the Netherlands, which now accounts for 25.59% of lending here in June, as Bondora itself mentions on its blog. It seems that the potential in other markets has been exhausted for now, and there isn't much growth to be expected in new markets, as they tend to proceed very cautiously. Furthermore, Monefit also has other sources of financing compared to Bondora, such as corporate bonds, of which they have already issued more than 30, the latest one just in June for over 14 million and 30 bonds. This helps them a lot with their expansion and also ensures that their cash flow normalizes here, preventing such payment issues from recurring. When asked about it, Kashyap also said that in her opinion it will not happen for the time being.
Do you think there will be any other repayment problems from CreditStar this year?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I mean, look, growth always has its challenges, especially when you combine that with not so favorable economic environment. So we came out of those environments now, so we are getting back to a more stable phase, if you like. But again, the inflation is still pretty much high in quite a few different markets. We had summer, so again, that was not very helpful, but again, it didn't affect our lending and investment businesses. But I don't believe that we would have other issues. Yeah, so I'm confident.
Whether one can trust the whole thing is something one must decide for themselves, but I wanted to ask him the question directly and hear his answer. If it turns out not to be the case, one can still refer back to this video here later. Bondora, for example, does not engage in corporate bonds and therefore does not have high growth targets, unlike Monefit SmartSaver. Credits that I have, from what I can see and have seen in recent years, as mentioned earlier, primarily based on the monthly loan volume, which, along with the growth of this volume over the past years, says quite a lot, in my opinion, about where the platform is headed, especially as more and more new investors join in, competing for the same slice of the loan pie in Go Grow. In June alone, more than 1,200 new investors joined Bondora, although the developments here are not really positive. But to be fair, it must be said that throughout the entire history of Go Grow, which has now lasted 5 years, everything has been paid on time, and yes, that cannot be denied. And with that, we come to my last question, which I have asked here, namely, what is planned for the next few months at Monefit, specifically for investors like you? And he says the following, which should please many existing and new investors. There's no other way to put it.
In terms of the features, there are quite a few different features that I want to roll out, but the notable ones are that I really want to reward our loyal investors. So for people who have been on the platform for a longer period of time and who really want to achieve their goals, we want to reward them in monetary terms and in some other ways as well. So there is a big program of work happening we are looking to launch in a few weeks' time. It's like a SmartSaver reward, 2.0 if you like. Very exciting. I don't think anyone has such a packed reward program out in the market right now.
So if you want to secure 7.25% interest per year, plus an additional 2%, then click on my bonus link in the video description, secure 9.25% interest per year, and possibly more through the loyalty program introduced in the coming weeks and months. Click on the link below in the description to get this bonus, as this is the only way to get it, and give Monefit SmartSaver a try. They have received excellent reviews on Trustpilot, and I am pleased as well. Now I am curious about the exchange in the comments below. What is your opinion on Monefit SmartSaver? Do you have any questions that I should ask Cash in the next conversation? Write them to me in the comments below. I see that the platform is very popular with you, and that's why I enjoy producing more videos about it. I'm looking forward to the exchange down in the comments. I wish you a good return and see you next time.